Hi everyone, it's Debbie, the shrink on your couch. I've got a few things in my practice that are like mantras to me, a few things that I'm particularly big on and particularly passionate about. I focus a lot on relationships, but more specifically than just that, on connection in relationships, and how no matter what's happened and no matter what the dynamics are, how to knit back together that core connection that initially brought a couple together. That's very important to me, and I spend a lot of time thinking about how to do that more effectively. But I also, probably more so with individual clients, I'm quite big on the concept of emotional regulation. Almost the best analogy I've ever heard on this is if you can imagine a volume dial on a hi-fi or a sound system. If you're quite an emotionally driven, emotionally triggered person, it's probably quite easy for your volume to go right up to 8 or 10 with very little effort. And so what emotional regulation is really is the idea of trying to keep that volume at a steady pitch, trying to turn down the volume on your emotions even. So if you're going through the day and something's happened and you're feeling really riled and mad, bad, sad, to try and get that 8 or 9 volume to about a 3 or 4, where it's a little bit more manageable. Because my sense is that a successful life is probably just a whole string of moments in which you've been successful. And successful, yes, in the broader sense of doing well at work or studies or whatever, but also just successful in terms of self-management, successful in terms of being the best version of yourself as often as you can. And so the message that I wanted to bring today is about anxiety. So many of us, so many of the people I work with deal with a lot of anxiety, feel a lot of nervous energy a lot of the time, a need to act on that, quite paralyzed perhaps even with fear and what's going to happen, and a sense of dread and foreboding. And so in terms of emotional regulation around that, often the best way of dealing with anxiety is through action. I truly believe that we reduce our anxiety by doing something. So rather than being paralyzed about a deadline, a due date, an imminent exam, for example, obviously it goes without saying you would reduce your anxiety by studying, by working, by doing things that prepare for that. But you can also use activity as a way to distract yourself from your anxiety. So to basically distract yourself from yourself. And in so doing, you almost leave your anxiety behind for a while, and then you string together a few more successful moments that enhance your sense of well-being in life. So sometimes even if I'm feeling particularly anxious about something, or there's something that I cannot control, I cannot do anything about, that is on my mind, I might actually think, what task could I set myself now, which if I immersed myself into, would take me out of this emotional state. Emotions are fluid, we can get out of them. We do not have to sit in them. So, then I might think, I'm learning my foreign husband's language, so I might think, let me do a lesson in Farsi. Or let's take the dog for a walk, or let's watch a series. But whatever it is, you distract yourself deliberately so that you move away from that anxious space. And emotions shift and change. It's like it's like sand. They move, they shift. Probably more so even than cognitions and thoughts and beliefs. So I'm rambling, but the message for today is emotional regulation. Be aware of the volume on your emotions. Try and turn it down, and you turn it down through activity, either related to the anxiety or just as a distraction to get yourself out of that emotional space and into a more pleasant sort of energetic field, for want of a better word. Have a lovely day. We'll talk again. Thank you. Bye-bye.